Hello everyone and welcome back to The Sims 4. So just here looking into my game, just admiring it with my reshade, well my Gshade and my texture files. Today I have a feeling we should be doing some building. So today we're going to be building Snow White's little cottage. Yeah, and I'll slowly start getting into that. Alright, so sped up here because it was a 2.5 hour video recording. Now, the process in this was really just trying to get, I guess, a nice kind of scenic scenery and kind of woodland vibes. I'll get into the kind of backstory as I get into the actual, I guess, design of the interior. I was just working out as well this roofing idea, but I wanted to kind of look at a nice cottage, but very simplified. So yeah, just adjusting some windows. I really wanted to go for a very woodland vibe. I don't have cottage living yet, so that would have been just perfect for this build, but make do with what you got. I do use some custom content in the build as well. It is a bit more on the clutter aspect rather than the, I guess, main function of it. But I use basically just packs I own right now. So I was started with these trees, but they didn't really cover as much as I wanted to, so I kind of switched them out and changed them to the more kind of pine trees. Yeah, and then doing the backyard, and then I actually added those trees that I did like, giving little steps to there, adding those stairs. Let me tell you, building this was so much easier than the Sims 2. I also want to do a Sims 2 series and possibly a Sims 3 series because I really love the game. They're like my favorite. And it's just, that's very like, it's simulation, so you can make your own stories in this. So here as well, designing the footpaths. And then I had this great idea to have kind of the dirt in the middle or some rocks and then surrounded by some stones. So here I'm just figuring out as well to kind of copy one side of those stones to the other side, and that's just taking its time to rescale everything. Obviously fixing some wallpaper. I did realize I used extremely a lot of cottage kind of looking style with The Sims 4 Seasons. It just felt necessary. Yeah, now I'm just adding the cheat so I can kind of build willingly, because I kind of clipped through a few of the windows. And I just had this idea to have an entry, just put some lights so I could see what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, so I mainly wanted the entry, I wanted a bathroom, living and dining together, and then obviously the bedroom. So with this kind of aesthetic, I really wanted to kind of really get in depth with story and a bit of gameplay, I guess, added to it. This I absolutely love because I actually made that the doors look like one is open to the walk-in wardrobe or storage closet, not sure, whatever that could be. Yep, loving, again, really kind of, so I actually ended up making it that it matched. I don't know, it gave me that cozy cottage feeling, and I was like, yes, this is what I need. Fixing, yep, around those counters I wanted. So kind of getting into the story aspect now that I'm furnituring it. So the story I wanted to go by is the 7 dwarfs actually just left the house. Not sure what reason, I guess mysterious circumstances, but they kind of just left it in a bit of a messy and a bit of decrepit state. Not too bad, like an extreme filthy state, but just enough that you have quite a lot of clutter, quite a lot of things left around. So then you can actually, I guess in gameplay, kind of tidy it up. A few of it is more in build by, so you'll just have to like delete it in build by. I did use, I think, custom content for there. I was working if I wanted some lights, but unfortunately just didn't work out. So yeah, I just kept going. I really knew what kind of aesthetic I was going, which was very cottagey, very kind of copper looking like stuff, like pots and pans and that. really looking into the kind of a palette a bit. So the living room, I really went into this idea of like a bit of greenery, because it's giving nature and that. And unfortunately, nothing fit of what I owned on the wall for a fireplace. So I was like, okay, we'll just not do that. I wanted to add a little bit more off the grid items. So there's not really much technology per se in this cottage. I mean, obviously it has to be modernized because obviously in The Sims they have their cell phones and everything, and I have mods that I think is like the Sim Link. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm just going through the clutter, and just adding things that not really even necessarily has to be in like the room specific. I added like a little bit of beer bottles, so then it just was like the dwarfs were obviously they were grown adults, and they just left in the States. Like they didn't put their groceries away, they just put things, clothes on the floor. So that's why I think it really just worked out for me. At the start as well, I was thinking to put the sink at the end of that glass counter, but in the end, I actually ended up with a standalone sink, which I think just messed the aesthetic a bit more. Yeah, so you can see there's quite a lot of custom content clutter, just a bit of things that kind of help tell the story. Like obviously she would have a recipe book of cooking. Probably there was once a fireplace, and I don't know, it maybe just broke or something. Yeah, so, and then obviously some china stuff. And then I had this really nice pergola that I really wanted to add, and I actually had to end up fixing it a bit in the end. So yeah, there's the standalone sink, saving my game because would be so upset if it didn't save. Now I like the idea as well. I actually made it that they didn't even push in the chairs, so it looks like someone literally just left in a hurry. And it just felt like it's been used, it's been like just left how it was. So obviously it's been furnished when the time that Snow White probably just stumbles upon the cottage. I am going to make a series that's a bit more of a modern version. So yeah, the story, I'm not sure, it's just a mysterious disappearance of whoever owned this house, and it clearly was just a bit abandoned, but it just had furniture, had everything good. So it's like, yep, why not? Why not move in? I feel as well her story would be more, again, like, because she had a really just wicked stepmother who really just kind of probably just dissed her and didn't really own up to her existence. Obviously, her vanity really showed through, so that's obviously through storylines. Yep, so this is where I noticed that it's actually floating. So I had to figure out a way to not make it look so weird. It didn't really go to plan at first, but I made it work, and I actually ended up liking it in the end once I dressed it up a bit more. But yeah, I just thought that was a little bit nice of adding. I love to add a lot of like outdoor furniture, because obviously the story with them, with the Seven Little Men, they did woodworking, they did gardening, they had like a bee box. Like I said, I didn't have cottage living, which would have been perfect for the outside. Well, doesn't mean I can't add to it when I get around by it. This was a hassle to also try to find something small enough in that space to also happen to let the doors work. And a bookshelf in that corner, so just trying to figure out something. And then I had to actually have a little bit of pause break. My little one just called out for me, so he was just I just need to tuck him back in bed, because I'm recording this late at night, clearly. So yeah, once I get back to it, it's just more, still trying to figure out that little corner, and then I move on, I believe, into the bathroom next, because I don't think I've done that yet. There we go, I'm back. So yeah, still figuring it out, and as I just kept going through the stuff, I managed to actually agree with one. And yeah, now I'm back on the bathroom. So I kind of put that sink again, put the toilet, which we end up changing because I wanted to keep it very rustic as well. And then I ended up going with a bit more of a yellowy theme in the bathroom, kind of to hint at Snow White, even though there was the Seven Little Men's lay place. I believe the story as well that they probably did have like a parent when they were children. I do feel like they could be like siblings rather than they all met up in like this little abandoned cottage. I feel that might have been siblings, or they might have at least been some sort of relatives, and it was just like a genetic trait. But I do believe there was once upon a time a like fully grown adult, like either looking after them or keeping the maintenance. That's why once they, I believe, went as an older, they passed on, and they kind of just let it go to a bit of shambles. Yeah, and then adding a bit more pots and pans that I found in the clutter. So yeah, I'm just really adding clutter in the sense I found some stones to add for depth, but I just add like obviously they have their clothing's on the floor not put away. They have this. I really like the idea of having that little boat near the toilet being more of a like they had their hobby but they didn't know where to put it, so they just put it anywhere. As well, trying to find the right artwork to kind of just clean up that wall. And as well with this I kind of got into a bit of a, I guess, slump, because I thought the bunk beds would be the best right away to do. Yeah, so I decided to go with then the kind of bed setup that there was like maybe the youngest of all, there was the shortest of all too. That's why there was a toddler bed. Um, Also trying to rework this wardrobe to kind of work out how, obviously because it's their height, so that's why it can be as well in the story kind of based on the dwarfs. Snow White would be like, oh, why is this so short? Like, I can't really, I have to kind of crouch down to get it. So that's why that one's super low, not really at sim eye height, like normal sim eye height. Just doing a bit of a dresser, again, a bit of clutter. Saw this little chest, which I was like, oh, that'll be good just there in the corner. Yep, just dressing up so it's a little bit more cozy feeling. Now I'm actually fixing on the lights, which I actually loved the aesthetic that came through, because I really like that warm kind of glow. Especially at nighttime, you kind of want to feel more cozy in it rather than have just those big bright lights. It's like, hey, I can see everything. So I still put in some chandeliers on, I guess, the main areas that you really need to see. I was testing it without the without my Gshade, and it was just like, ugh. Again, had to go to my little one, so I was just taking a bit of time to just set that up. But yeah, my story, obviously, she's gone into this new cottage. It's completely, like, maybe not disasterly, but I still wanted to make it that it was very homey, it was lived in, rather than the fresh, clean kind of looking that she would have put in herself. And I feel that I really wanted to, with these storylines, really go based off, I guess, the main, because it's also, I'm basing them, I guess, appearance-wise on the Disney aesthetics. And obviously through the Disney films. So obviously she was in the cottage, so I really, really enjoyed kind of setting that up and giving that kind of, I guess, restraint. Now we're coming up to slowly finishing up. I was just kind of looking at all whatever things, because I haven't played in a bit, adding a nice title, description, and adding some traits, because I just felt it was, I don't know, it was just a little quirky thing to do with the things added. And then I obviously was just typing in description, just giving a bit of a storyline kind of to help with my, I guess, aesthetic, and trying to really put a bit more effort into my, I guess, my gallery too. Yeah, now we're just here testing out that everything works. So I just got a bit of footage of her actually going in. This is kind of, I guess, the entry point of her, you know, just stumbling upon it and just really just like, oh, well, okay, this isn't cool. You have a bit of a reading of a book, just trying to see what there's available, as well, testing that everything in the bathroom functions well, getting the right camera angles, because I was taking as well screenshots for the end. And yeah, just making it all pretty and pristine. Of course, next would be Cinderella, which again will follow the method of create a sim, then house build. And I think that works out because I have downloaded the actual blank worlds offline, because I really I love the story of building up my own, I guess, my own town, my own builds, and what's the best way to kind of start fresh and kind of, I guess, populate my game. We obviously chose Newcrest at this stage as well, given the fact that I've only had a few game packs and DLCs installed. That's just because, again, starting fresh from my last episode. And I don't know, I just really feel as well having that kind of really in-game Maxis Match aesthetic if I have custom content. Just kind of let loose a bit, and I usually had the alpha, but that really just felt like I really modded my game heavily. This one just really felt normal. So now we're doing a bit of screenshots, and unfortunately I had to put my own overlay filter because they're in-game screenshots, which weren't the best looking, but just to make it a bit more brighter, a bit more enhanced. Yeah, I will add more in the descriptions. I'll talk to you later soon. Bye!